It starts with a cough or a wheeze. Soon, your chest feels tight. Your breathing speeds up and gets shallower, making you feel short of breath. These are common symptoms of an asthma attack. Around the world, more than 300 million people suffer from asthma, and around 250,000 people die from it each year. But why do people get asthma, and how can this disease be deadly? Asthma affects the respiratory system, particularly the smaller airways, such as the bronchi and bronchioles. These airways have an inner lining called the mucosa that's surrounded by a layer of smooth muscle. In people with asthma, the airways are chronically inflamed, which can make them hyperresponsive to certain triggers. Some of the many asthma triggers include tobacco smoke, pollen, dust, fragrances, exercise, cold weather, stress, and even the common cold. When people with asthma are exposed to these triggers, an asthma attack or exacerbation can occur. But how exactly do such everyday factors lead to an asthma attack? If an asthmatic is exposed to a trigger, the smooth rings of muscle that circle the small airways in their lungs contract and become narrow. Simultaneously, the trigger worsens inflammation, causing the mucosal lining to become more swollen and secrete more mucus. Under normal conditions, the body uses this mucus to trap and clear particles, like pollen or dust. But during an asthma attack, it blocks the narrowed airways, making it even harder to breathe.
When were you diagnosed with asthma?
Probably about 11 years ago. It was an adult onset, and I didn't have it as a child. As long as I stay on my medication, I can do pretty much anything I want to do.
Okay.
If I'm not on my medication or I forget to take it, it limits me from doing any outdoor activities.
Yes.
One, the Symbicort I take twice a day. 2 puffs, once in the morning, once at night. And then my rescue inhaler I use twice a day.
Yeah.
I have had asthma attack. It's very scary because you can't breathe. I have a nebulizer that I share with my daughter because my granddaughter has allergies and breathing treatment or problems also. But so I have to make sure that if I feel anything coming on, that I can have access to that breathing machine. Sometimes I've had to do 2 doses of the medication that goes in it. I go every 2 months.
Has living with asthma been difficult for yourself and your family?
More so me, because on high pollution days I can't go outside. I'm an outdoors person. I hike and I run, and I can't do those activities. Or in the summertime I can't go swim.
And every 2 months?
They do, they check my lung capacity, they listen to my lungs, they check my oxygen levels.
Does asthma restrict you from doing like work-related stuff?
Not work-related.
Okay. Does any of your family have asthma before you?
My son does.
Your son does?
Yes.
Did your parents or grandparents have asthma?
Neither one of my parents did. My grandma on my mom's side might have. They all passed away. I was exposed to black mold, and that's what my pulmonologist believes caused it.
When were you diagnosed with asthma?
2 years old, in a hospital in Anaheim, California.
Did your parents or grandparents have asthma?
My mom does, my dad doesn't.
How often do you go to see the doctor?
Probably on average like once every 2 months.
What does he check?
Well, it sees if my pathways are open or closed, and then subscribes medicine if I need it,
Okay.
and asks me if I'm on my daily medicine still.
What tasks does asthma limit you from doing?
A lot of stuff working in like yard work and stuff. Can't breathe when I do that stuff.
So allergies.
Allergies, yeah.
So what type of medications are you required to take?
Well, I take this Simicort. Take it 2 puffs a day, morning and night, and then I take inhaler if I need it, and then albuterol. And this is albuterol inhaler, and this is like thing you put it in a breathing
Nebulizer? Yeah.
nebulizer. Yeah.
These effects lead to the symptoms of asthma. Smooth muscle constriction results in the feeling of chest tightness. Excess mucus and increased inflammation can cause coughing. And the wheezing noise? That happens because as the airways constrict, air whistles as it passes through the narrowed space. These symptoms may make a person feel like they're running out of air. Yet counterintuitively, during an asthma attack, the inflammation can make it harder to exhale than inhale. Over time, this leads to an excess of air in the lungs, a phenomenon known as hyperinflation. The trapping of air inside the lungs forces the body to work harder to move air in and out of them. Over time, this can lead to reduced oxygen delivery to the body's organs and tissues. Sometimes, in untreated severe asthma attacks, the body can't keep up, which can lead to death from lack of oxygen. So how do we prevent these uncomfortable and potentially fatal attacks in people who have asthma? One way is to reduce the presence of triggers. Unfortunately, the world is an unpredictable place, and exposure to triggers can't always be controlled. This is where inhalers, the primary treatment for asthma, come in. These medications help asthmatics both control and prevent their asthma symptoms. Inhalers transport medication along the affected airways, using a liquid mist or fine powder to treat the problem at its source. They come in 2 forms. There are reliever medications, which treat symptoms immediately and contain beta agonists. Beta agonists relax constricted muscles, allowing the airways to widen so more air can travel into and out of the lungs. The other form of inhalers serve as preventive medications, which treat asthma symptoms over the long term and contain corticosteroids. Corticosteroids reduce airway sensitivity and inflammation, so asthma can be kept under control. They're also crucial in preventing long-term damage from chronic inflammation, which can cause scarring of the airways. Inhalers are known to be very effective and have helped many people live better lives. Although we've come a long way in improving how we treat and diagnose asthma, we still don't know its exact causes. We currently believe that a combination of genetic and environmental factors play a role, potentially acting during early childhood. Recent research has even linked poverty to asthma incidence. This may be due to reasons ranging from exposure to additional pollutants and environmental irritants to difficulties in obtaining medical care or treatment. As our understanding of asthma improves, we can continue to find better ways to keep people's airways happy and healthy.
Same as me. My brother has it and my sister has it, so it just makes it a little bit harder to do sports and stuff. Do stuff that requires outside work and allergies and stuff.
Does your mom have to help you a lot with it? Or like when you were younger?
When I was little, yes. She had to set up the nebulizer and stuff. I had to do that all the time. And when I was actually first diagnosed with it in the hospital in Anaheim, we were at Disneyland, and so she had to help me pretty much with everything.
Did you show symptoms before that, or is that when they just figured it out?
Probably had symptoms of it, but they never really figured it out until then.
What was your worst experience?
4th grade, I was in the hospital for 2 weeks.
What, you just
Turned
cannot breathe?
Yeah, can't breathe, and it turned into walking pneumonia, because we're more prone to get that stuff.
I literally stop breathing in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that happens
And
to me.
then
That
like, you
happens
have
to
to
me
call the
still.
ambulance. You know?
Yeah, that happens.
So.
Not that serious because I'm so used to it. When I was little, we probably would, but now I wake up and I put up all my stuff together, do breathing treatment myself with the nebulizer, or I'd go find an inhaler, or sometimes I even have to go shower off again if I have dust in my hair or something bothering me.
So you have to keep your house pretty clean, or at least your room.
Yeah.
So living with asthma has been difficult.
Yes. It makes, can't complain too much because it can be worse, but it makes stuff a lot more difficult.
In sports, you just have to keep your Symbicort on you.
Symbicort is my morning and night, but I keep my inhaler on me at all
Rescue one?
times. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get put on steroids if I'm really bad. That's what the doctor put me on, help open me up.
You just go in and they do that like IV.
No, so it's just pills that they give me. So, but if it gets to that point, then it's pretty serious. I've had that done to me several times. They give me an IV and stuff.
When I have an asthma attack, I feel scared. Sometimes my parents have to take me to the hospital. I feel like a fish with no water.
You know how to react to their asthma attacks. Now, learn how to prevent them. Visit gethealthyclarkcounty.org or call your doctor, because even one attack is one too many.